sending a strong message to working people all over this country that sometimes you have to stand up for what you believe in.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
All right, folks, you are still listening to the Valley Labor Report. My name is Jacob Morrison. I am here with Jon Holden, president of the Machinists District Lodge 751. Is that right?
Yeah. Hi, Jacob. How are you?
Hey, Jon, I'm doing good. Appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. So can you start off with, an introduction to yourself? How did you get into unionism?
Yeah, sure. I was hired in, August of 1997 at the Boeing company up at our Everett plant in north of Seattle in Washington. And I got involved as a union steward. I started participating with my local, became an officer, and started kind of getting involved and volunteering for different things that gave me more opportunities to get to know people, get involved, and support our members. I moved into an organizing role where I worked for our international as an apprentice organizer for a couple of years. I left the state of Washington and worked in Nevada and California and Oregon, and had the opportunity to organize new workers and give them rights on the job and the ability to negotiate the things important to them and their coworkers. So that was a great opportunity. And then I became a business rep for the IAM District 751 up in at the Everett site. I covered the 747 program and our members there from 2007 through 2014. After that, I ran for election to be our to be our district president and directing business representative for District 751. And I won that election. I've been reelected several times into this role, brings us to today.
And so in this role, how many people do you represent? And in these contract negotiations with Boeing, how many people are under this contract and are going to be under the new one?
Our district has almost 34,000 members in the state of Washington. We have some members at Edwards Air Force Base in California and in Victorville, California as well. We have probably under our Boeing agreement, we probably have right around 32,000 members, and we are in a master agreement with District W24, who has a machine shop for Boeing in around Portland, Oregon, and they have about 1,300 members. So in total, the two districts combined in the master agreement, about 33,500 members are under this agreement.
And so, being in an agreement with Boeing, everybody, I think, unfortunately, because it was not always the case with Boeing. I mean, previously, Boeing had always been associated with, incredibly high quality, a company of engineers kind of thing. But recently, over the last year, there has been a lot of news about Boeing and defects in the planes and problems with, not allowing employees to report things right. And so I'm interested, like on a human level, how has that affected your members who work for Boeing?
Well, I think that, a lot of that started when Boeing and took over McDonnell Douglas. But the reality is McDonnell Douglas, their management style, which was a GE management style, they really took over, and they had different goals and how they operate. In fact, they ran McDonnell Douglas into the ground, and they were failing to, get sales for their commercial airplanes. Boeing wanted their defense programs, and so that's kind of what happened. But the management style shifted to where they focused on stock price, doing share buybacks, returning free cash flow to the stockholders. When they talk about the stockholders, they really are looking at those institutional investors that hold a mass amount of stock, right? They're not looking at the everyday person that might hold something in their portfolio of Boeing stock. they're really looking at those that control this company and returning money to them. And that changed the dynamics. They kept looking for ways to speed production. Speeding production is a good thing, except not at the expense of quality and safety of the airplane. And so you started to see them, remove things. Here recently, in the last 5 years, they were removing quality inspections and shifting it over to where a mechanic might inspect their own work or inspect other mechanics' work. And this started to, I believe, take a toll on our members, on the company as a whole. And we need to get back to the basics. So, we've been preparing for this agreement for really the last 10 years. We had an extension in 2014 where they threatened to remove the 777X airplane program and move it somewhere else, even though this was the most successful wide-body program to date and has thousands of workers and an infrastructure with facilities and supply chain all here in Washington State. They still threaten to go somewhere else. And so during that extension, we lost our defined benefit pension. We stagnated wages. There was a massive cost shift on healthcare, and we were stuck in that agreement for almost 11 years. So we've been focusing our opportunity to rebuild the strength of our membership, get everyone moving in the same direction. And we've got there. We're here now, and our members are strong. We talked earlier about our strike sanction meeting at T-Mobile Park where the Mariners play. It was an amazing showing. We had over 25,000 of our members and their families show up. It was an awesome day. Sent a huge message to the company that we are united and the proposals that we bring to the table are important. And so our members are focused on wages as the top issue. You see that across the country, whether it was in the auto industry or Teamsters at UPS, at John Deere, IAM members in St. Louis at Boeing, or at Spirit in Wichita. Wages have been the top issue. But for us, it's also about retirement security, ensuring that we can retire with dignity. So trying to make up for the loss of a defined benefit pension, recover it if possible, address that for our members is a big deal. But the cost shift on healthcare, we're trying to reduce the cost to use the plan. There's different costs associated with office visit copays and the like that really have cost shifted much of that over to our members, and it's something we have to address. So, but I got to tell you, there's a couple things that are really important. We have to get the next airplane program. We can't put our members in a situation where they can be threatened again. We were threatened in 2014, as I said, to lose the 777X airplane.
Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
We were threatened in 2011 with loss of the 737 MAX if we didn't agree to an extension in 2011. We were threatened in 2003 that they would move the 787 program somewhere else. And, our members can't be placed in that position again. We lost the 787. It's now fully consolidated down in South Carolina. And, a couple of the other programs like the 747 has shut down. The 737 MAX, while we have a huge backlog of over 4,000 MAXs to build, which is great, ultimately that plane will be replaced. And the single aisle commercial airplane is the most profitable, most built, most delivered airplane in history. And so we've really got to capture the replacement for that when they do that. Could be 10 years from now, but our members deserve the right to build that, and our communities deserve the right to have that, those jobs, ready for our future. So there's some of the big things going on, but as we talked about quality and safety, we've never proposed, having a say in that. We never felt like we had to come in to save this company from some of their characteristics. The characteristic to focus solely on stock price and the rate at which we build things at the expense of everyone else. And so we've proposed some language that would allow us some say, to have the ability to grieve some of the changes to ensure that we aren't undermining the foundation of our manufacturing system. And that's the first time we've proposed those things in our history. We've also proposed a seat on the board of directors. Now, having one seat on a board of directors doesn't mean you're gain control of this company, but we believe the board of directors is so detached from the realities of manufacturing and the quality systems that we really want to be there to voice our concerns. The workers' voice has to be in the boardroom because they're making mistakes. They're making decisions that have hurt this company, that have hurt our reputation, and it's up to us to make sure that they hear about those bad decisions, right? So those are some big things on the table, and we're looking forward to, the next 3 weeks, hopefully getting an agreement that we can recommend to our members and that they can accept. But our members are ready to strike. So no matter what happens, our members deserve to get the proposals that we've put in front of the company. We deserve to get the wage increases, improve retirement, reduce costs on healthcare, and also address jobs for the future.
I think that much is clear. I'm going to have our editors put that clip from the put some of those clips in from that rally that y'all had at the baseball stadium.
Machinists! You are sending a strong message to working people all over this country that sometimes you have to stand up for what you believe in.
We stand 100% with our IM family at District 751 and W24.
And what we're seeing right now is what happens when work isn't valued. When they start listening to the 50th floor instead of the people on the factory floor. It's time to tell Boeing corporate greed isn't gonna fly.
You have the power to make sure that you get the contract you deserve. And make no mistake, Boeing is not going to give you what you deserve. You're going to have to fight for it. So are you ready to fight?
It's been a long time coming. 16 years since we're able to negotiate a full agreement. We have the ability now to bargain for wages, health care, additional vacation and sick leave to address that work-life balance that you all deserve. Retirement that was stolen from us on January 3rd, 2014. Are you willing to strike to get the improvements you deserve? We need jobs for 50 years, not 4 years. We need to secure the next airplane program, fill our factories full of work. We need to be included in the vision for the future.
This is an historic moment, IAM, and we are shoulder to shoulder with you in this fight.
We will be the highest compensated aerospace workers in the entire world. And we won't accept anything less because we don't deserve anything less.
We have to save this company from itself. We have to push them farther than we ever have before. This is our future. This is our fight. Tell this company, you deserve better. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win.
You can really feel the energy through the screen that was in that baseball stadium. It was, it was really cool to see that just online. I couldn't imagine what it was like being there in person. And just to, back you up on some of that about the McDonnell Douglas takeover and the GE style of management, for folks who are not like a student of labor and management relations in the United States, you may not be familiar with the GE style of management or Jack Welch, but, all that you really need to know is that they're terrible and that they destroyed, American corporations, several of them. So it's all bad. We should throw all of it out.
Amen, brother.
So it looks like there's, incredible proposals there, and I'm really excited to see how these negotiations go. Really quickly, when do when does the current contract expire?
Our contract expires on September 12th, so it's coming quick. We're, right around 4 weeks away. Although we'll get the last best and final offer before the expiration, gives us a chance to get that in front of our members, and they can look at it, see all the changes, talk amongst themselves and their family, and decide how to vote on the 12th.
Have you put any red lines in the sand about extensions of the contract?
Well, we're bargaining to expiration. This is going to be a brand new agreement. It will address the concerns we bring forward. It certainly won't be an extension. So no need to draw a line there, since this is expiration, and it will be a new agreement.
And then with the last 2 minutes that I have you for, the South Carolina factory at Boeing is obviously, something that is a concern of your union, having this big non-union outfit within the company. What the UAW has done after their successful contract negotiations with the Big Three is they've basically taken their new contract around to the non-union automakers across the country and said, hey, joining the union can get you something like this, organize with us. Do y'all have any plans or any intentions of doing a similar thing after these contract negotiations with Boeing's South Carolina factory?
I know that our Southern Territory is always working with, some of the workers in South Carolina. I will tell you that 751 understands everything that workforce is going through. We are just like them. They are just like us. The facts are we face the same employer, the same issues. They removed quality inspections, like 90% of quality inspections out of that plant. And there was no one with the ability to stand up and say, this is wrong. And that's what we were able to do. We were able to stand up, demand to bargain, try to change that. When we were ignored, we were protected when we went to the FAA and filed hotline and whistleblower reports in order to change the direction of this company. And I will just say that the workers in South Carolina, they would benefit from having these rights. We've been able to use the right to bargain for generations, and it has suited us well, and it would really work for them. They'd be able to identify what's important to them as a workforce, what improvements they want to make, and go after those instead of, just hoping the company does the right thing, right? Unfortunately, that doesn't happen very often, especially with a management structure that has no checks and balances. And that's what we are. So I always want to extend an open hand and a welcoming thought to our, the fellow workers there in South Carolina.
Absolutely. And I appreciate that. As a radio program here in Alabama, organizing the South is a really important thing to us. So we like to see that when it happens. So, Jon Holden, I know that you literally stepped out of negotiations with Boeing to come do this interview with me. So I appreciate you taking the time. Look forward to seeing how these negotiations unfold, and, best of luck at the table.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
All right.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.